So I want to talk about this article really quick because it's all starting to make so much sense right now. This author and journalist was having lunch with friends. There was a white guy and he's married to a black lady, and they were talking politics. And he says that farmers weren't worried about Trump deporting migrants because, wait for it, they thought because unemployment was so high for black people, that these black people would run back to the fields and do the jobs that the migrants were doing when they got deported. So she asked, where'd you get that information from? White farmer TikTok or Maga Facebook memes? Where'd you get this information from? And her and the wife basically started giving him information, letting him know unemployment is only 6.8% for African Americans, and 93% of black people are currently working. Got so caught up in what they were hearing at Fox News and other places, thinking black jobs, immigrants are taking black jobs, that they just assumed they'd get rid of the immigrants and black people would take the immigrants' jobs. Sir, our ancestors did not march, die, and fight for civil rights so we could go back to the fields? What? But shout out to the Latino immigrant population that have mastered that labor with skill and stamina. This country doesn't even appreciate it enough. Oh, and by the way, when they do try to hire Americans, black or white, to do those jobs, most of them don't even last half a day. They just ghost them without even picking up their paychecks. True story. So y'all, tell me, do you really believe that they thought black people were planning to replace immigrants in that labor force if they got deported? Because I need to know who was smoking that logic. What do you think?
So, did you hear that Trump pulled out a racist trope from the era of American slavery when talking about undocumented workers? Yeah, he was being interviewed on CNBC when he said this about people from Central and South America working on American farms.
These people do it naturally. They don't get a bad back because if they get a bad back, they die.
These people do it naturally. That's precisely what slaveholders said about enslaved African Americans to justify slavery. They claimed the natural place of African Americans in the world was to be enslaved because they naturally had lower intelligence and naturally had bodies that could withstand hard labor, long hours, infectious diseases, and extreme heat. Or as Trump put it, they could be worked almost to death and, quote, they don't get a bad back. According to enslavers, black people occupied a position in the natural order that was a notch or two above livestock, but well below the status of white people. That's clearly how Trump sees the largely Latino workforce laboring on American farms. But Trump wasn't done with the racism. He made it clear that in his ideal world, black Americans would be the ones laboring in those fields. But alas.
People that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work. And they've tried, we've tried, everybody tried. They don't do it.
There you have it. Those inner city black people should be doing the farm labor. But according to Trump, they're just too lazy. As he put it, we, white people, have tried everything, but they, black people, refuse to work. So much racism in just a few sentences. And the eggs? Still expensive.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I need you blue state liberals to stop calling the farmers who voted for their own personal financial ruin stupid. It's infantilizing. They aren't stupid. To actually manage a farm effectively requires insane depths of knowledge in math, science, logistics. These people aren't dumb. But what they are learning, for I think in some cases the first time in their lives, is how expensive racism is. They heard Trump loud and clear when he said that he would deport their labor force and that he would tariff essentially all of the inputs they need to run their facilities. And they absolutely heard him when he claimed over and over again that the US gave too much to the world in aid, and therefore those aid streams, which most often include the food these farmers grow, would be cut. They heard it all. They just didn't believe it. They thought this was just Trump 1.0 and there would be enough adults in the room to say, hey, this is reckless. We can't do this because it will dismantle the economy. Yeah, a lot of farmers were hurt during the first Trump administration. Thanks to his reckless trade wars, particularly with China, a lot of them went bankrupt. And the bailouts that originally happened under Trump's first term didn't mostly even go to these small-scale farmers. It ended up going to big agribusiness. And I have a feeling, if past is prologue, we're gonna see that happen again. if bailouts happen at all. Because the reality is these people do not actually want to save these small scale farms. People in this admin, like JD Vance, very specifically invested in things like Acre Trader. Their goal is for these farmers to go bankrupt so that they can consolidate, buy up huge swaths of their land, and make a fortune. So I'm not gonna lie to you, there is very little incentive for anybody in this administration to actually give these farmers a bailout, no matter how angry and white and male they are. I doubt there are any farmers listening to this at the moment, but the billionaires do not care about you. They actually just want to take your stuff. So even if a bailout does come, and I doubt an effective one will, but if it does, it is going to be meager enough to keep these people in dire financial straits. Because the goal of a lot of these billionaires and investment firms is to make them desperate enough to sell. So you can say goodbye to small scale family farms, that's for sure. What's kind of funny about this is that Let's Go Brandon tried to bail you out for real. And that's probably the last time anyone will,
So y'all remember when it was said that we taking all the black jobs? They really thought that we was gonna be looking for black jobs, y'all. And I woke up this morning, I was scrolling through TikTok and I saw this guy made a video and I saved it to my favorites so you can go look for it. And he said he was pretending to be Maga on one of those other apps. He said they were doing a live and the farmers were saying that they thought that the black people would be looking for jobs to work on their farms. Now you gotta be kidding me. Do they think we really looking for farm work? Do they not know that we are educated and we got degrees? And being a farm worker ain't even in the jobs categories that we be looking for. They really don't know how educated some of us are. They don't know how many degrees a lot of us have. They got to be really lost if they think that we want to come and work on their farms. They don't know that our parents and our grandparents growing up wouldn't even let us be outside if it wasn't no shade outside. Do they really think that we gonna work on a farm where ain't no shade trees at? I hate to disappoint y'all, baby, but you're gonna have to get somebody else to do it, because we ain't working on nobody's farm. Never. The only way you're gonna see black people working on a farm is if they own the farm, because we not working on nobody's farm as no workers. So I hate to disappoint y'all. If y'all thought those was black jobs that black people looking for, honey, you better think again, because black folks that I know got good jobs. We've had a black president, we had a black vice president, we got black senators, we got black congressmen, we got black CEOs, we got black doctors, we got black nurses, we got black psychiatrists, we got a lot of good black jobs. Now, I don't know what y'all thought we was gonna be farm workers for. We don't even want to work in the fast food industry. Those jobs, we don't want those kind of jobs. So, I hate to disappoint you MAGA people, but we don't do farm work. So get somebody else to do it. I'll like, share, comment, and repost. Drop in the comments y'all education and y'all good black jobs, because they don't think we got good black jobs out here. So we need to let them see it.
Hello everyone, thank you for watching my videos. I just pop up to say hi. Let's continue watching this video. My name is Anthony, and you really mean a lot to me if you are watching my videos. So let's continue watching these videos, and I'll make conclusions at the end of the video. So we are discussing about Trump's racist farm plan, how Trump wanted to take the blacks back to the farms. So let's continue watching these videos, and let's make our conclusions at the end of the videos.
Gentle fucking reminder that it is not undocumented immigrants in the ER that is making you poor. And before you come at me and say, oh, so you admit that there are undocumented immigrants in the ER? Yes, because Ronald Reagan, your Republican hero, in 1986 signed an act into law that required hospitals to treat and stabilize anybody who comes into the ER that has a life-threatening condition. And that includes undocumented immigrants, regardless of their legal status. And that means also tourists, just anybody, any person has to be treated if they go into a hospital. So when your hero, Trump, rolls that back and says, oh, we're turning that funding off because the government subsidizes those hospital bills, and you're cheering for it and says, yay, I don't want my tax dollars paying for that treatment for those illegals. Well, guess what? You're gonna pay for it anyway, because the hospitals still have to treat those people. But now they have to inflate their costs to cover that. And guess who has to pay that? That's the insured freaking citizens. That's you. That's me. Hospitals are going to have to raise their rates. Therefore, insurance is going to have to raise their premium. Do you know some states project that they are going to be having to raise their premium because of this and because of the cuts to Medicaid up to 112% because of this? And also, can we just talk about the fact that you guys are screaming that you don't want health care for human beings? We're paying for it regardless. And you don't want health care for human beings. You're mad at the mother in the ER who has a sick and almost unaliving child that comes to the ER to get her 5-year-old treatment so he doesn't get unalived. You're mad at her and that child? Very pro-life of you. But you're not mad at the billionaires with 7 different houses and 2 private jets that are making 1,000% profit margins. Meanwhile, you're scraping by on your $50,000 salary? Huh?
Trump just said that Mexican immigrants naturally do farm labor and that they don't get a bad back because if they get a bad back, then they die. Can't make this shit up. He says, we can't let our farmers not have anybody. These are people that you can't replace them very easily. You know, people that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work, and they've tried. We've tried. Everybody's tried. They just don't do it. These people do it naturally. Naturally. I didn't stutter. He did say naturally twice. Then he goes on to say, I said, what happens if they get it? To the farmer the other day. What happens if they get a bad back? And he said, they don't get a bad back, sir, because if they get a bad back, they die. You know, in many ways, they're very, very special people. Okay, first off, it should go without saying that no group of people is naturally inclined to do farm work above a different group of people. Like, that's just a blatantly racist claim to make. And on top of that, the whole bad back thing is just weird as hell. Trump is saying that after publicly announcing that he and his administration are working on a program that would make it so that way undocumented immigrants could still work on farms, but only if the farm owner is willing to, like, account for them, which just sounds like slavery. Also, calling Mexican immigrants special individuals while you're literally just threatening to, and not just threatening, but you are actively arresting and detaining people who look Mexican and throwing them in ICE detention centers without due process, that just feels really, like, nasty and gross and disgusting. Anyway, to the surprise of absolutely no one, Trump is blatantly racist and thinks that all Mexican individuals are naturally inclined to do farm labor.
Damn, racism sure is expensive. So much winning, huh? So much winning. You've spent so much time being racist and white supremacists and demonizing immigrants while voted for a white man who's a convicted felon who knew that he wouldn't pay any attention to the economy. I mean, it's almost like the guy that had 6 bankruptcies and failed 2 casinos, you know, that might have been a sign, or 3 failed marriages, 2 failed presidencies. I mean, Trump steaks, donations for cancer charities that he stole from. I mean, it's almost like you guys literally failed an open book test. He said, I am a convicted felon. I could unalive somebody on 5th Avenue, and you're like, yeah, woo, praise Jesus. Oh my God, he's such a Christian man. Woo, hot damn, racism expensive. Hey, but thoughts and prayers, okay, everybody? Let's make sure we give these farmers and all these people that are losing their jobs on the right thoughts and prayers as they worship their orange daddy. Damn, racism's expensive. Woo!
Food stamps were never about feeding the hungry. It was 100% to subsidize farmers. Yeah, I will never understand Republican farmers who are like, I'm voting to end these handouts. First of all, your farm takes a gajillion subsidies. As this young man, Skylar, is finding out, he's losing his $80,000 in subsidies from the government. But also, I used to work for WIC, and WIC is it really is an agricultural subsidy. It started that way, that's for sure. You ever wonder why moms on WIC get far more milk than any family can possibly consume? I know when we were on it, I was making yogurt and cheese out of it because it's just vast quantities of milk. Yeah, it's because it's really a subsidy for dairy farmers. You ever wonder why the main things you get on WIC are formula, cow's milk, cheese, cereals, wheat, corn, soybean, dairy farmers?
So I'm a black farmer, and a lot of people are wondering, why are black farmers not panicking like a lot of white farmers? Well, let me explain to you the reasons why. It's because white farmers have been handed everything to them, a lot of them. Not saying all of them, but a good bit of them. And by that I mean this. MLK even pointed out, he says, farmers in the West and the Midwest who were white, they were given land, they were given money, they were given training, they were given a lot. Whereas the black farmers weren't given anything, and the largest civil rights settlement in U.S. history is Pickford v. Glickman, where you had a class action lawsuit, bunch of black farmers all joined the lawsuit, and they won a huge settlement because the USDA was shown to be racist for decades. So because black farmers haven't been given anything, we've been learning to do without, unlike your white farmers. So when things are taken away from you, all your subsidies, all your tax breaks, guess what? You panic. Whereas we've always been going through this shit. So there's problems in privilege.
When did farmers become the villains? When did the disconnect happen is what I don't understand.
So that's what we got for American farmers, is zero empathy. Last thing I want is an American farmer to go under because us as Americans didn't want to do anything to support them.
Oh my God, can you guys just stop lying for 2 seconds? Please, just stop lying. Nobody's mad at you because you're a farmer. We all recognize how important farmers are. We all appreciate farmers. We're mad at you because you voted for this and you're playing victim as if you didn't vote for this. And I don't even mean this in a fuck around and find out type of way because you already found out in his first term. His horrible policies led to him having to bail you out. And you knew this. That's why I know you didn't vote for him because of the farm or because of the economy. You voted for him for different reasons. And let's start being honest. Your community is a huge reason why we have a sociopath in office, why we have an adjudicated rapist in office, why we have someone who tried to overthrow our government in office, why we have a 34-time felon in office, why we have a president who is actively ruining every part of our economy in office. You voted for that, knowing that he was going to do it because he did it to you in the first term, and y'all didn't care because trans people or something. Also, sidebar, I voted for you. For what it's worth, I voted for you, okay? Leftists voted for you. The left voted for you. We vote for a collective. We vote for other people. To sit here and act like, this is America, why are we not rooting for each other? That's what our vote does. That's how we look at elections. That's how we look at candidates. For you to come to us and say, how come the people who want everybody to have healthcare, who wants everybody to have public education, who wants everybody to have childcare, how come they don't want to be a part of this community that we have over here? How come they're mad at us? When we voted for you, and we voted for the exact solution that you are asking for right now, is absolutely insane.
So everything that has a beginning must have an end, and we have reached the end of this video. And thank you to everyone who has really watched this video to the end. And as I usually say, this is the best video I've ever made. If you watch my videos, I believe this is the best video I have ever made. And make sure to comment so that we can discuss, because it really takes divergent dots and brings them together. Trump and Project 2025, this is all related. Trump wanted to create a feudal system where the farmers are lords and they have people working for them 24/7. The feudal system where you are the lord, maybe you have people working for you. That's what Trump wanted to create. And if you see the Project 2025 plan, it has all of that detailed. How we live in a feudal system in the United States. It's only that you don't really know it. We are in a feudal system where these corporates are the lords and you work for them. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that you own the house you have? Do you think you own it? Because what happens when you don't pay the property tax in your house? Tell me in the comment section, fellow Americans. What do you think will happen to that house of yours if you don't pay property taxes? Tell me in the comment sections. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Tell me what will happen to your car. In the comment section, tell me what will happen to your car if you don't pay your insurance. Tell me in the comment section what will happen. Tell me what will happen if you don't pay for your medical cover. What will happen? In the comment section, tell me. Because I hear we are a free nation. This is the land of the free, whereby you can come and dream and accomplish everything. We are the land of the free. But are we really the land of the free? Because the medieval lords were replaced by these corporates. Tell me in the comment section why, when I want to buy beef, I would only buy from 4 brands in this country. Whether I'm in California, I'm in Texas, I'm in Louisiana, I'm in New York, I'm in Maryland, I'm in Wisconsin, I'm in Washington. If I want to buy beef, there is a higher probability I'll buy them from only 4 brands. Tell me in the comment section, why don't you believe we are in a feudal system in this country? And that's what Trump wanted to recreate with the farms. So it's all a plan to own Americans, whereby you only work for housing and food. You won't have dreams anymore because it's even hard to have dreams in this country. It's very hard to even run a small business. What business will you run? Import and exports. Here comes tariffs. The bigger companies can take the hit and not pass the cost to consumers. But what about you who is running a small business? So the major plan in this country, from what I see is you guys becoming slaves, paying everything with your bodies, labor, cash, whatever, with your bodies. Until you are old and you can't work anymore, and then you are taken to a elderly home. That's what they plan to do. And from there, a younger generation comes. They are put into the system. They work. When they become old, they can't work anymore, to the elderly home. So pay attention to what is really happening in our country. And even the small things that you are seeing happenings, they are a bigger picture of what maybe is to happen. So guys, as I usually say, thank you for watching these videos. Stay safe, stay blue, listen blue, watch blue, vote blue. And until the next video, thank you for your attention to this matter.